but work through the safety procedures on this aircraft. Your seatbelts must be fastened whenever the seatbelt signs are on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt securely fastened and visible at all times. In the unlikely event of the aircraft having to make an emergency landing, you must follow the rules of the safety car. On this part of the plane, there is one emergency exit. Additional logos will also lead you to that one exit. Once the doors are open, evacuation slides can be used as flotation devices. Your life jacket is located under your seat or under the armrest. After securely tying it around your waist, inflate the life jacket by pulling down on the red tab or blow into the tube manually. A light and whistle are provided on the life jacket to attract attention toward you. If oxygen is needed, masks will automatically drop down from the compartments above your head. Put the elastic around your head and breathe normally. Please make sure you put your own mask on before assisting others. Please take a few seconds to turn off your cell phone and make sure your seat is upright and tray tables are tucked in. Now please make sure all baggage has been tucked underneath your seats or in the overhead compartment. Any additional questions can be addressed if you just raise your hand. Thank you.
Okay, so Richard Branson is the biggest entrepreneur in the UK and one of the biggest entrepreneurs in the world. He created the global Virgin Empire. Now, can anybody guess how many companies he might own? 3 guesses.
7. 23. 30.
Over 400. So Richard Branson was born on July 18th, 1950 in Blackheath, South London to parents James Branson and Eve Neat. So one thing that really affected him in his childhood was his dyslexia. He absolutely hated going to school. It was a nightmare to sit around kids who could read and write sentences every single day. But the thing that he did not know was that dyslexia gave him the ability to see a broader vision, to see specific details that normal people couldn't see. So he had a huge imagination. But of course, back then he didn't know that. So he dropped out of school at the age of 15. And he actually became an entrepreneur at the age of 16 when he started selling Christmas trees and budgery bars. So does anybody know what a budgery bar is? They're parakeets. And so you can see why he had such a huge imagination. But unfortunately, nobody bought anything. So 2 years later, in 1968, he opened his own magazine called Student. And realizing how popular Student was becoming, he decided to advertise CD record sales inside of it. And that became a mail order business. And soon enough, that mail order business turned into a store. But the problem with the store was that nobody came, or he barely got any sales a week. And so he ran out of money, and his employees quit on him. And on top of that, he came down with an ulcer. On top of that, after getting the ulcer, he didn't have anything else to do, so he closed down his shops, and he had nothing more to do in the city, so he moved to the countryside. And over there, he took a huge loan from the bank and bought an old English Rainer in Shipton on Cherwell. And on March 25th, 1971, and he and one of his original members, Tom Newman, they opened the first company there called Virgin Records. So now, can anyone guess why he chose the brand name Virgin? Yeah?
He was the first to teach it.
No, and he never had a college degree, and a lot of people that he worked with were on the same boat as him. So they usually ran their business by looking at other people, and so they were completely little version of their business. So now I want to see if you guys can guess the song or if you know who the artist is and the tune or anything. Okay, I guess the tune isn't working. Anyway, it's called Tubular Bells, and it was written by Mike Oldfield, and he was the first person that Virgin Records ever signed. And the moment it was released, it hit number 34 on the Hot Charts list in the UK, and only a little bit later, it got chosen to be the theme song for The Exorcist, and that's when it won a Grammy. So Virgin Records was getting a lot of fame. And they also signed people like the Sex Pistols, the Daft Punk, and the Spice Girls. So during Virgin Records, Richard Branson had to travel a lot. And due to that, he hated the airline service. It just never ever satisfied him, and he just hated it so much that he decided to open his own airline. So the one that we're on right now is Virgin America, and that opened in 2007. But the one he created was Virgin Atlantic, and that was an international airline. So to keep his first airline alive, he actually sold Virgin Records in 1992 because there was such tough competition against British Airways. And so this list over here that you're seeing is just not even half the companies he owns, but a lot of them towards the late 1990s and 2000s. The ones that I'm going to quickly talk about are in 1991, Virgin Publishing. They released the book that I read about him. And then in 2000, he launched the Australian airline Virgin Blue. And I think that's really interesting because in Australia, the redheads are called blues, and his airline color is red, so he called it Virgin Blue. And it caught a lot of attention back then. But now he changed the name to Virgin Australia. In 2004, he launched Virgin Galactic, and his main reason for that was because he wanted to take friends and family up into space to explore what was out there. But of course, now he uses it for bigger research projects. In 2006, or in 2000 in general, he became really eco-friendly. And in 2006, he announced Virgin Fuel. It was a new company that produced a clean fuel in the future. And in 2007, he launched the Virgin Health Bank. And that was pretty neat because it let the parents in the UK save their child's umbilical cords for stem cells in the future. And he's still at it. He's still expanding his business. As in the last 20 days, he just bought Northern Rock, which is a British bank. And now it's run by Virgin Money. So now to get out to publicize all his different companies, he did a lot of unique things. So for Virgin Cola, he sat in a tank and went to Times Square in New York, and he blew up that Coca-Cola sign. I don't know who gave him permission, but it caught a lot of attention. For Virgin Brides, he shaved his legs and shaved his facial hair and wore a bride's dress to censor that. And he also did a lot of charity work. So this is him dressed in a Spider-Man costume, and he was propelling down London's Central Point skyscraper, and it raised 50,000 pounds for the nearby Middlesex Hospital. And I thought this one was pretty cool because he dressed up as an Indian woman to advertise Virgin Radio in the US. That connects to volunteers. Sorry, let's touch that. So Clarice is going to explain what you guys have to do outside. Okay? Okay, so Richard Branson owns so many companies, and the question that appeared to me was, how did he manage to choose people that would run his company so smoothly? And for that, I looked up something that he looks into people when he interviews them for jobs and whatnot. And there was a whole bunch of things, but the four that we're going to just focus on right now are going to be confident in who you are and what you have to offer, tell them a good story always, sit up straight, and don't forget to smile. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to interview them one by one for our spot at Jamba Juice. Okay? And you guys at the end of it are going to basically tell me who would get the job. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so how do you see your study, skill, experience, and personal qualities contributing to the work of Jamba Juice?
Well, I believe that I have a very good work ethic, and I always do my best to every job I try to do, and I always do it on time. So I feel like that would definitely help me in the job.
So can you describe a time where you have been required to perform as part of a team?
Yeah, well, I've been playing soccer for the past 6 or 7 years, so that's a really it's a sport where you have to work as a team a lot, and our team was always we always cooperate with each other, nobody tries to steal the glory, so.
Okay, so suppose you made grass and cows in a huge bucket, and you spilled it. How would you handle the situation?
I would first go and let the supervisor know, because trying to cover up or just clean it up myself, that would probably just cause a bigger mess. And then if there are customers there, I'd first help them out, but if there's coworkers, I'd help the customers, I'd clean the mess.
Okay, and suppose there's a huge rush of Jamba Juice, and they need more workers. Would you be willing to leave what you're in the middle of and come and help?
As long as what I'm in the middle of isn't important, like if I was in the middle of school, for example, I wouldn't be able to come, but if I was just at home, like watching TV or something, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. Nice to meet you.
morning, we had to make smoothies for people who came to our house. And I said make banana smoothies, but she made strawberry smoothies. And turned the whole into a big mess. Didn't know what to do.
How would you make razzmatazz in a huge bucket and you spill? How would you handle the situation?
I'd probably cry over it. A few seconds, then get a mop. Get a co-worker to do it.
Suppose there is a huge rush of Jamba Juice and they need more workers. Would you be willing to leave what you're in the middle of to come out?
Depends on what I'm doing. Well, the game's on. I don't know, stay close to this.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Okay, so from what you've just seen, who would you give the option? No, honestly. Alright, well, now that the flight's landed, it is only 50 degrees outside.